What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another absolutely fantastic video today. We are playing the Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and in today's video, we're talking about the new elite abilities in Season 5 for the Wraith and Vanguard combination. This combination, Undead and Evil Men, has been really phenomenal since it was introduced 2 seasons ago in Season 3. And here we're going to explore them in Season 5 in all their glory. So, let's get right into it. Their unique abilities are phenomenal and have enormous synergy. Okay, so let's talk about that. Also, you should like and sub because I'm a beautiful person. A little bit fatter than I used to be, but still beautiful. All right, so let's start with the Wraiths, okay? You know what? Let's start with the Vanguards. Vanguards are super duper nice. So these guys are Evil Men units, right? As you guys know from a few seasons ago, they were introduced. They're very tanky. Their damage is not that high, right? If you average it out, this is only 17 to 20 damage range. So they are going to be about 10% lower damage than, say, the Halberdiers, okay? They're going to be 30% damage lower than, say, Sentinels. So their damage really is not the point of using them. The point of using them is their ability to have full armor, which is huge damage mitigation, 15% physical, and their ability Undead Ally, okay? At 10 points, Undead Ally will give the Vanguards and the Undead Ally 30% bonus damage on their next damage dealt every single round, okay? So this is super strong and, of course, provides great synergy with the Wraiths, which we're going to talk about in just a second, okay? Now, the Vanguards have some good skills, okay? Their first elite skill is called Blessed Armor. This is fantastic. It's going to reduce all damage they take by 25% for the first 3 rounds. So this will combine with their heavy armor ability, and it will reduce all physical damage by 40% and all other damage by 25% for the first 3 rounds. Okay, that's actually super duper nice because Vanguards and Wraiths, we'll get to the Wraiths in a second, but Wraiths will redirect damage back to the Vanguards, which means Vanguards are essentially taking all damage in the first 3 rounds, really until they die. So this will make them very, very tanky. It'll make it very hard to defeat a Vanguard Wraith combo without taking some heavy losses at the minimum, okay? Now, that is a very strong ability. So is the parry ability here in their Elite 2 tier, okay? The parry ability is also going to reduce damage they received. This will be a 30% chance to reduce the damage they receive, okay, by 30%. And it will also increase the damage they deal by 30%. In addition to that, this ability can stack. So, I am going to hypothesize to you that having a good march full of actually a high number of Vanguards and Wraiths is going to be very strong because you can get the Vanguards to deal extremely high damage as they're taking all the damage from the Wraiths. Since they are taking all the damage from the Wraiths, they're already giving themselves a 30% damage bonus. Having 2 or 3 stacks of parry, even having 1 stack of parry every round is going to give them actually a 60% damage impact, okay? Which could be really phenomenal. So, the question is, parry is going to last for the whole fight. If you trigger parry on average 1 time per round, you're going to reduce 1 of your incoming damages, maybe 2, by 30%. Increase your damage by 30 to 60% each round. Is this more valuable than Blessed Armor? I'm going to go ahead and hypothesize to you that I believe running a high count Vanguard march with parry and some Wraiths is going to be extremely valuable, okay? However, they also have another good skill. Some units only have 1 good skill. The Vanguards have 3 good skills out of all of their elite skills. They're all good, okay? Perseverance is also fantastic. If you run Perseverance, this will give you a 40% damage bonus going into round 4, right? It's a 10% stacking bonus for the first 4 rounds. So at round 3, you have 30% bonus. Round 4, you have 40% bonus for the rest of the fight. This is also crazy strong. So I would say you're going to have to make a tough decision. All 3 of these abilities are very valuable. Blessed Armor will keep them alive in the first 3 rounds. I'm going to go with parry. I'm going to use parry because parry is going to be crazy dope with all the stacks. Since you are the primary focus of all damage, including commander damage, every time anything attacks the Wraith, it redirects the damage to your Vanguards. Your Vanguards may end up with more than one parry stack per round, which would make them absolutely dominating. Okay? So, that's the Vanguards. Let's talk about the Wraiths now. The Wraiths, you can't talk about this combo without talking about the Wraiths, alright? So, the Wraiths are super duper nice as well, and the main thing that we're looking at with them is their Prowl Ability, okay? The Prowl Ability gives basically Wraith the ability to redirect all normal damage onto another random melee unit. In this case, it will be the Vanguards, okay? So what does this mean? This means that you can't run a second melee unit. You can't run like one stack of Guard of the Tower for their damage mitigation. You have to pick a ranged unit if you want to run a third unit in this march, all right? But Prowl will redirect all damage to the Vanguards and make them super dope. It will also, Corrupting Touch, reduce enemy defenses, and then, of course, Perish is sort of almost like a debuff. It's not great. It just means you don't have wounded troops, okay? Now, the ability you're going to want to use, right, on the Wraiths, okay, they have a few good ones. One, they have Divide and Conquer. They have Divide and Conquer, which is actually better than it seems, since they do redirect all damage away from themselves. You may get all 30% damage mitigation stacks from Divide and Conquer before your Wraiths actually take damage from round 5. Okay, that's possible. However, close quarters combat is going to increase your damage dealt by 50% if the enemy doesn't have a mixed march. So if they only have melee or only have range, this is a 50% damage bonus. Or you can run them with Perseverance. Perseverance is going to be that 10% per round stacking buff. So going into round 3, right, 30% damage, round 4, 40% damage. This is the same skill that the Vanguards have. And this is going to be the skill that you want to select on your Wraiths, okay? Because by the time round 4 comes around, your Wraiths will have not taken any damage. There will be a full march of Wraiths coming in hot and heavy, punching people directly in the face, dealing enormous damage output, okay? So this is going to be the one that you want to run. Like I said, they will be alive long enough for Divide and Conquer to stack up. So this is an option. I'm not saying it's not. And if you do find yourself facing a lot of pure melee marches, which is actually pretty common, especially if you're fighting against evil men, you may decide, or just men races, you may decide that you are going to run close quarters combat and decimate the enemy with 50% damage bonus going into round 1, okay? But this is iffy, because if the enemy does have a single march of Sentinels, given how strong Sentinels and other range units are now with their dispersion ability, you may find that this doesn't trigger as much as you like. Okay, so recommendations for you is going to be to run the Perseverance ability on the Wraiths and then run the Parry ability on your Vanguards. And this will create a god-like combo. Okay, so I'm currently training these guys up. I will have the Vanguard's elite abilities unlocked later today. These guys will be ready for some PvP for a feature video for you guys later this week, okay? So, love you long time. Thanks for watching, folks. Like and sub. Randy out.